Epilogue. Spring. I just got the flight confirmation. I'm leaving tomorrow morning. So, will you survive without me? Mom and I are in the garden, enjoying the first of the sunshine with a coffee. Not long ago, this question, instead of being rhetorical, would have been a tricky one. Not anymore. Since the incident with Eve, the Maltaire have made themselves scarce. They say in the village that Eve doesn't have the town hall much more anymore, doesn't leave the town hall much more anymore, and that his convalescence has been difficult. I don't know what the future has in store, but I hope that the storm is finally now behind me. Daphne? Oh, sorry, Mom. Yeah, sure, don't worry. I think I'll manage without you. We're interrupted by Frank back from the courthouse. He comes toward us with a smile that must mean good news. So, what's the verdict? He was acquitted. With the number of witnesses who testified in his favor, the judge had no choice. In the end, what tipped the scales on the side of self-defense was the testimony of Mrs. Lafleur, the fishmonger's wife. She swore under oath she had seen Eve Maltaire take a knife from his pocket. I suppose that, just for once, a bribe couldn't have changed the verdict. Mr. Bourtine must be relieved. Oh yes, I dropped him at the lodge, but you know what he's like. Never shows his feelings. Frank, since you're here, could you give me a hand? I've got some luggage to bring downstairs. Of course, with pleasure. I watch them as they go inside. I pour myself another coffee and sit lost in thought. That's when I see the tall blonde figure coming up the path. She's striding purposefully toward the castle, but when she sees me in the garden, she hesitates briefly, then heads in my direction. Hello, Miss Delator. I was going to knock, but when I saw you, I thought I'd come directly to you. Clothilde Maltaire looks ill at ease, and seems to have traded in her habitual haughtiness for a dose of humility. Clothilde, what a surprise! Can I offer you some coffee? No, thank you. But if you would give me a minute of your time... A sigh escapes me as I wave her to take a seat. I'm listening. Daphne, I have to admit, I underestimated you. I never would have believed on seeing you that you could have stood up to my husband for so long, or that you would make yourself so popular in our little community. Come on, Clothilde, stop trying to butter me up. Apologies don't suit you. You're right. It might be because I haven't had to apologize for anything for a very long time. Anyway, as you might have guessed, I'm not here for that. I'll cut to the chase if you don't mind. As soon as Mr. Bourtine's trial finished, I came straight here. The verdict wasn't a surprise, and I've been mulling this over for a while now. You know my husband. He has his shortcomings and his good qualities. I suppose you don't see it like that, but I promise you, Eve has a good heart despite what you might think. I'm about to interrupt her, but she stops me with a wave of her hand. Please, Daphne, hear me out before you start insulting me. I'll tell you something. It might surprise you. I've never really believed in all these tales of witchcraft. Oh, I can see their benefits. But let's be serious for a minute. How can you say that? After everything I've experienced since I arrived, there can be no doubt. You're entitled to your beliefs, Daphne, but let me ask you. What proof do you have that anything truly supernatural happened? Since you arrived, what's actually happened? Car accident? A chimney fire? There's a silence. Well, never mind. Sorry to be blunt, but your views on the subject don't interest me at all. However, You may have noticed that my husband is a true believer. And the recent events between you and us really took a toll on him, you know? I don't think he'll ever forgive you for making him ridiculous in front of the whole village. And now, the judge's decision. I'm sorry if I bruised your husband's ego, but I was just defending myself. You're right, Daphne. And believe me, I deplore that things have come to this pass as much as you do. I just want this to be over, once and for all. Neither of us has anything to gain by keeping this animosity alive. I know I can make my husband listen to reason, but for that, I need you to meet me halfway, Daphne. Do you understand? What I suggest is that we unite our two families and end this old quarrel once and for all. Sorry? You heard me. I know my son has a great regard for you. What I'm suggesting is a marriage of convenience. A marriage of convenience? Are you joking? Firstly, we're not living in the 19th century. And second, I'm already engaged. How could you think I would ever break my engagement for... I'm lost for words. Oh yes, I'd forgotten that detail. I suppose you're referring to your plumber? What was his name? Francis, is that right? Do you understand, how should I put it? The attraction of a liaison with that kind of person, but marriage? Really, Daphne? I thought you were more discerning than that. Are you sure your relationship is that strong that you won't regret choosing him in a year, 5 years, 10? Besides, Stanislas is a delightful boy, I assure you. You won't have to love him, nor even good gods be faithful to him. If you insist on continuing your thing with your workman, I don't see what would stop you. All I would ask is for you to be discreet. What do you say? Now it's time to get angry. Are you kidding me? And you somehow thought there was a possibility I might agree. In what universe did you think I would accept your offer? I came here with only good intentions. And this is how you receive me? I warn you, Daphne, I can still make your life miserable. We glare at each other. I burst out laughing. Could you tell me what's so funny? I mean it. You'll regret taking this lightly. Really, Clothilde? Either you're in denial or you take me for an idiot. Excuse me? You have no hold over me. You've just told me you don't believe in witchcraft, and even if you did, you're in a corner. Let's say your husband asks the entity in contract with your family to do his dirty work again. Who would you direct it against? Me? Maybe Eve tried, which is probably why today I have to walk with a cane. But at the time of the accident, I hadn't really taken stock of my inheritance. Trying anything, now that I have access to the tower, would probably fail, and your husband knows it. Of course, Eve could try to blackmail me by threatening, I don't know, Mr. or Mrs. Bourtine, Frank. If we suppose the fire to be his fault, we can say he really pulled it off. Mom is sound and safe. Besides, and you know this as well as I do, the local population is very superstitious, and I'm sure if anything happened to someone close to me, they might reach some conclusions on their own. Without starting a popularity contest, I think we can both agree that causing an uprising is not really in your interest. Well, unless you want to deal with a riot or, I don't know, a strike at the sawmill. See what I mean? So I don't think we have anything left to discuss. I return to my book while she stands there, motionless, consumed by cold rage. After a while, I add, "Goodbye, Clothilde." She turns and leaves. I watch her until she disappears behind the trees. I haven't seen Clothilde since that spring day. A couple of weeks later, the news of Eve's death began to circulate the village. He'd hanged himself in his office at the city hall. Clothilde left the area without a word, taking most of the assets of Maltares. The Maltares had accumulated for generations with her. Little by little, people began to talk, and Eve's shady deals were revealed. Rapidly, the Maltaire name was no longer a synonym for respect and fear on the lips of the villagers. Time passed. The days are longer. Little by little in the summer the heat arrived to warm the old stones. In August there were rumors about the financial instability of the sawmill and its eventual closing. There was a climate of anxiety in the village. After all, it was the first time in more than a century that the population couldn't look to the Maltaires, either to guide them or as a scapegoat for their troubles. In the end, even if the Maltaires were the architects of their own demise, it left me with a bitter taste in my mouth. As for me, I focused on the family legacy. I did everything I could to revive the old traditions. I reopened the tower, and pilgrims from all walks of life came little by little to the castle. The weird nightmares became less and less frequent until they stopped entirely. I don't know what happened to the strange beast I'd seen in my sleep, or if it really existed. I had to bow to the evidence, the legends, the magic, the miracles. I still wonder if all of this wasn't just the fruit of my imagination. In the end, my role in the village has more to do with being a guide than a magician. I help people far more by talking and of course listening, than by performing rituals or summonings. I admit that I don't have the heart to curse someone just to check the efficiency of my supposed powers. The main thing is that I finally feel I found my place, my role. Opening the doors wide open so that the old knowledge isn't lost. So that I'm not the last representative of my kind, so that everything won't stop when I'm no longer there. Frank and I are still engaged. It's not always a bed of roses between us, but I know he's the love of my life. There's no wedding on the horizon, but he's not in a hurry and neither am I. I think that after everything we've been through, we don't need any symbolic link to promise each other support and fidelity. We have all our lives before us. Could things have turned out differently? I wonder about that from time to time. What would have happened if I had chosen another partner to share my days, my troubles? If I had believed in magic more, or the contrary, doubted? If I had given in to anger, to despair, and perhaps to calm, to leniency? Would my life be different? Would I myself be different? I don't know. We've gone with the flow. I've done all I could. I've dangled over the precipice for a long time, clinging to the comfort of my uncertainties, of my doubts. The weight constantly calling to me. I've let my feet guide me, one after the other, along the edge. Prodigal daughter. Mending the wounds. Gemini. Firefighting. Frozen. BFF. Okay. The voice of reason. Like a virgin. Okay. Refuse both Frank and Stan? Dude! What do you mean refuse Frank and Stan? I want to engage. What? Seeing that people. Social niceties. Okay. Chatted around the cocktail, have a conversation with your grandmother.